Welcome back. Here's my NC1 Miata. It's already got some stuff done to it, which we're going to cover in this video. But number one thing I wanted to do with this car is make it look a little bit more aggressive, a little bit cooler. The NC1's a cool design, but it's very basic, especially the rear end. It doesn't have the benefit of the NC2 or the NC3 where you can buy those cheap eBay diffusers that actually make it look a lot more aggressive, which I actually had on my NC3 Miata, and I absolutely loved it. You can install those on here, but it takes a little bit of work and it just doesn't fit perfectly. So I didn't really want to go down that route. So I started looking at aftermarket bumpers. The problem was with this being a budget build, I would have had to get it, prep it, paint it, all that. It was going to be pretty expensive. So I kind of just let the idea go. One day I was just on eBay and I was sending stuff to Austin, who's the other half of Flywheel Films, who just picked up an NC1 also. And he was actually able to find an OEM Plus Valence, which I believe is from a sport package from the NC1. And he found it in his factory color and he just put it on. And when I saw his video, it got me thinking like, wow, that's actually a pretty cool piece. And it gets the beginning of what I want of the rear end to look a little bit better. So I was chatting with Austin about some of my options and he randomly sent me an eBay link and said, hey, what about this? And it turns out that the person that he ordered his kit from, it's a Mazda original part, actually was selling this piece right here in my color for my year of NC1 Miata. That is so unlikely to ever really happen. And it was from Mazda. And this guy just happened to have it in cosmic green. So if you're looking for it, he has other listings. Go check out his listings over there. I couldn't say no, so I ordered it. And here it is. We're going to talk about how the install process went. However, because of the design of the OEM Sport Valence, the muffler tips actually get shoved in quite a bit. They look further in than it needs to. So I did fix that, temporarily speaking. So we're going to cover how I installed it, what it took to install it, and what I did with the muffler tips. So let's go, because I think this is one of the best modifications you can make to your NC1 rear bumper. Let's go.
Look at the condition this box showed up in though. Oof. I hope my Valence is okay, so I'm going to open this up real quick. It's actually packed pretty well in there. A lot of empty space, and I think that's just why the box broke. Looks like it's got the genuine paperwork from Mazda. There's the code. This is Nordic green, I hope. All the hardware. Here's a better view of how it showed up. So I'm going to take all this off. It is brand new. It has every OEM tab. Awesome. I can't believe that I was able to find this in Nordic green. Now let's turn it around. Look at the color. Black diffuser part itself is just needs some, I think it just needs a cleaning or like some heat. Looks like it'll clean right up. But this is perfect. I'm so excited about installing this. So tomorrow I'm going to install this using the same method that Austin from Flywheel Films did, which was basically remove these tabs and actually attach the bumper using 3M and only drilling at the bottom right here. So I will link that video as well. So I'm just using my little Dremel tool. This is about where it's gonna sit. And it looks a lot better. This is cool. Okay, so we're going under the car. There's the exhaust. And let me try to explain this as best as I can. This is the new piece. This is the stock diffuser right here. So you'll see right there. Just need to drill a screw from up here into that hardware right there to connect these two so that it'll sit really like that. So here we are in the car, and I am discovering why people would take the bumper off to do this. This is where the lip, the new Valence, attaches to the unpainted part of the stock bumper. That's what this is. The screw actually needs to go from the top end into the threading right here. So the problem is I'm not gonna know exactly where to screw it unless there's marks up there. Let me check. Okay, so I just decided to take the bumper off. I just want to install this properly, and so I'm going to watch this video on how to take this bumper off. It looks pretty easy, and I'm going to start that process and get this off, and we'll go from there. So I ended up bringing this into my house, and I put the bumper upside down on a bunch of towels. I put the splitter on the bumper. It's just kind of sitting on it. This is the one that broke, so if I need to put this one on, I can't, but this one's fine. So it's gonna get drilled through here into that screw. So Austin's video shows that there's punch outs, or like at least hole indicators. So I'm gonna clean my bumper and see if I can find them. Yep, and there they are. That makes life easier. There's one right there. 2, 3, and 4. So these are the ones that match up to the bottom of the valence. So I'm gonna use Austin's method of punching a hole in here and then drilling it. So it's these little gold ones. Those are the flange bolts. And that's what's gonna go in here and attach the valance. So I'm gonna drill a hole big enough to slide this through. Yep, goes in and out with no issue. I used a 5/16 drill bit to get these holes. Right there is where I drilled the hole. So now the goal is to get this screw pop out on the other side. Because mine has this broken, I want some additional support. So I think I'm actually gonna drill those, at least the corner back ones. So that one and that one, I'm gonna drill on here and put screws in there. Here, you can see I'm screwing it in here, and it is going into that plate right there. It lines right up. Perfect. I love OEM parts because they all just line up. So I am an idiot. I went ahead and screwed this in and forgot that there was double-sided tape here that needed to be removed. So now I can't get to it. So I gotta take the screws out and loosen it and then start the tape. Yay. So here is where the tape connects. And so I'm just gonna kind of pull this a little bit and get it started. So then when I mount it, I'm not gonna tighten the screws. And then I'm just gonna pull all the tape off while this is on the bumper. Okay, so I wish I had thought of this earlier, of using a chair. Either way, it's installed. There's a few kind of minor gaps. Like right there, I'm getting a little bit of a gap. It's tiny, but I think once those screws down there on the sides are lined up, everything should kind of just sit back up. I gotta cut off a lot more. So here's the problem. Usually when I screw this in, I have a lot of surface area, so I can actually screw in a little further in. Here, because the lip ends right here, I only have about an inch of connection points. Can you hold this right here where my fingers are? on the car. Okay, so I have my OEM Valence on the car now, and my muffler tip, the exhaust tip, is now really tucked in, and honestly they don't look very good anyway, so I'm going to replace it. So for now, because this is a budget build, I just bought these on Amazon. They were $20. This is a DC Sports. It's a 3.75 angled tip, pure silver. I didn't get the burnt look. They are clamp-on style, so that they're, you know, a lot of people don't like the clamp-on style. As long as you don't see these, I don't think it's that bad. But these are 10mm nuts, and you just kind of clamp the exhaust on here, and then you tighten these and kind of even it out wherever you want it. So we are going to cut right behind the exhaust. This is about 9 inches long, and before I bought this, it was supposed to be 7 inches long, but I needed a couple extra inches. That's what she said. And so right where I cut the muffler tip, the OEM one, this is going to be basically flush. I'd like for it to stick out a little bit, but that would require me to go to the exhaust shop and get it welded in and all that. And I'm just not going to do that right now because this exhaust is going to get replaced. So we're going to count on this, and I think it's going to look a lot better either way. Whew. Nice clean cut. We're going to grab the exhaust and clamp it on. Okay, so they're all loosened up. And basically get it on there. I'm gonna try to straighten it as much as I can and pull it out as far as I can without it. And here's the other key is you don't want to over tighten one side, so I'm going to hand tighten it right now just to get it clamped. And for this you do need like a short 10. And I kind of just go around tightening them a little bit at a time on each side rather than just focusing on one. And there we have it. They are installed and they look significantly better than the OEM tips. Just as I suspected, really no change in sound at all.
This is one of those mods that's a little bit more work than I originally thought it would be, but the result is well worth it. I recommend if you have an NC1 to find this piece for your car if you haven't done any other aftermarket stuff. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for a lot more on this Miata.